Welcome to Inside the Capitol, your weekly update on what's happening in Minnesota state government as seen through a Catholic lens. This week we are very pleased to report that a bill that hundreds of Minnesota Catholics have advocated for has passed the Minnesota House and Senate and is on its way to the governor's desk.
Seeing no further discussion, the clerk will take the roll on the bill.
The House unanimously passed a bill that will require authorities to collect information on the connection between pornography and human trafficking. House File 2967 will also send money collected from child pornography cases to the Safe Harbor program, which assists minors who have been trafficked for sex. We spoke with the bill's author, Representative Kathy Lomer, just after the bill passed.
People in Minnesota understand that sex trafficking is a big problem and that we need to address it and we need to figure out the root causes of it. And I think people on both sides of the aisle recognize that, and so I think that they were happy to support this bill because that's what it does. It gets to the root of the problem.
Before representatives could vote, the bill was brought to committee by Representative Lomer earlier this session.
So when I introduced the bill in committee, Representative Pinto, who is a Democrat, he's been working on this issue for a long time too, and he recognizes the issue.
Before its House hearing, testifiers also told their stories to a Senate committee.
There is a direct link of pornography to human trafficking.
Throughout this session, hundreds of members of the Catholic Advocacy Network have contacted their legislators asking for support of this bill.
About this, I've heard from people across the state of Minnesota that this is an important issue to them, but even beyond this issue, it's very important for any of you who are listening to connect with your legislator. If there's an issue that's important to you and you want to see some action taken in the legislature, we do read our emails. We do pay attention to what people are saying and what the heart of people is, and so it's really important to be able to share that and never feel like it's a waste of your time, never feel like they're not going to listen. We do. We listen and we care, and the more we hear, the more we know that it's something that's really important to the people of Minnesota, and that's why we're here.
Whether meeting with legislators, calling, or sending a message, the voices of each advocate helped support to grow. And in the Senate, it also reached a unanimous vote last week.
I think in this case, you looked at it and it was common sense and pragmatic, and it was bipartisan support. So by that time, all the politics were set aside, and here it was focused on what are we going to do that's right for our kids and right for society. And you know what? It was good, and I'm glad that we did it. And having 67 people say yes to that kind of sends a message, doesn't it? The whole state of Minnesota's elected officials said, yeah, we agree.
Before voting for the bill, Senator John Hoffman spoke on the Senate floor about the impact of this bill on the futures of young women.
Because it is a public health issue. And the attitudes that young men have toward women as they become older men, unless we do something early on to change that social behavior, right, it's not going to get healthy.
We sat down with Senator Hoffman, a co-author on the bill, to further discuss how his faith has impacted the support of this bill.
As somebody who's brought up in the Catholic faith, that says if you want to have social change, work for justice. As you look at something like this, this was something that had a really good moral attitude change to it, which got to our own personal being of who we are as individuals. And I think that to me was important.
Now that the bill has passed the House, we need you to take action and ask Governor Dayton to sign the bill into law. The governor has until Monday to sign or veto it. If he does neither, it will also become law by default. To send your message or to call, visit mncatholic.org/action center. There you can click on the banner for human trafficking and pornography. From there, you can send a message via email, Twitter, Facebook, or you can call. Thank you for joining us for this week's edition of Inside the Capitol, and make sure you share this video with your friends. Also, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and join us again next week for another edition of Inside the Capitol.